vlog. It's been one of those days. It is almost 1 o'clock. I'm going to work.
This is the first video, because quite frankly, I haven't been in a really good mood.
At least he's being honest. It's just one of those days, you know? You get up, you clean the house. It's, you know, we just haven't felt like picking up the camera. And honestly, I really didn't feel like picking up the camera now. But we made up a challenge and a pact that we would put a vlog up every single day this year. So we're putting it up regardless.
So I mean,
and that means some days are better than others. You're going to have some vlogs that are fun and funny. And you're going to have some vlogs that aren't. We can't have exciting, adventurous days every day.
Not unless we hit the lottery.
Then we have a lot of adventures. So yeah, Lacey's at the pool. She took her phone and the waterproof case. Maybe we'll get lucky and she'll have some footage for us. Wouldn't really count on that. But otherwise, this may be the only vlog you get today.
We'll figure something out. I might go out to Cape Penelope and detox a little bit. I don't know. Lacey has Taekwondo later. I don't
some of that.
I don't know what
I gotta work till 9 o'clock, so I mean
I don't know. Because
when I have shifts like this, I can't do much.
I don't really feel like fighting traffic. There's a fair amount of traffic out here right now, which tells me that the parks are pretty full. I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Now tomorrow, I'm gonna say we'll probably walk up to that. We're gonna go, right?
74, right?
Yeah, 73.
Walk up to Taqueria?
Yeah.
It's a lot of walking for me.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know where we're gonna
We
park.
might be able to park at Kmart or Chick-fil-A and walk across the street and maybe do a halfway or something. It's a lot of walking, especially if it's warm out.
Anyway, so there's an event at Taco Rio tomorrow, and I always just call it Chillware Island, but they have some local artists and some we know will be there, and it just seems like it'd be something cool to check out, even if we just go to look around. It's like a little market or whatever they're doing, and then Saturday's the Sea Glass Festival, which I would really like to do. So there's a couple of things coming up.
Yeah, we'll see weather providing, what we can accomplish and what we can't.
But like I said, every day can't be. But it's a vlog. It is what it is. Some days are good and some days aren't. Today's not a bad day. It's just is.
I've been cranky.
Well, I've been doing laundry and doing dishes and you get it.
Stuff that gets done every day, and you think to yourself, where does all this come from? I just wear a bathing suit all day and a t-shirt.
I wear a little more because I have to put work clothes on, but so I usually have at least 2 outfits a day. But anyway, it's not worth it. It's just is what it is. Hopefully we'll have something more interesting to show you. If not, leave us a comment. Tell us how your day was.
Later, everyone.
See ya.
Hello. So I want to come outside. I don't want to just vlog for the sake of vlogging. I want to do it because there's a purpose. There's something that we can share as a family to everyone out there that decides to watch us. Well, about this time every year, we actually start thinking about Christmas. And not necessarily the wrapping and unwrapping of presents, but something that's a little bit more traditional. And what that is that my family puts up a Christmas train garden. The Lionel Christmas trains come out every year up at my mom's house, and it's a time where the whole family gets together and it's a huge tradition to put these up, because it's been going on since probably the 30s and 40s, and it went through my grandfather and probably his father, so really my great-grandfather, grandfather, down to my mom's side, down to us, and hopefully down to our kids. I mean, it's the generations of tradition. And what I do and what my brother Gary does, and the whole family contributes in some capacity or another, but my brother Gary and I, we actually build model houses to go on the Christmas train garden. And those houses are replicas of houses that our family lives in, so that way every Christmas, when my mom has the traditional trains going around the track in the Christmas garden, she has her whole family in miniature form there on the garden. Now, the reason I'm going down this direction is for the last couple years, I've wanted to build my grandmother's house. And I think the scale of these are 1/48 scale, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But I just built them by the size of the windows, because I measured the windows of the original houses that were made out of wooden cigar boxes back in the day, and I just want the houses to be the same scale as those, because otherwise it would kind of stick out like a sore thumb. But it's roughly about that size. And my grandmother's house was a house that I've always wanted to build, and unfortunately I've never been able to find a complete walk around for photographs of her house. And it was, you know, I had 2 photos, and I was able to do like the front of the house and the front left side of the house, but I couldn't figure out the back side, and your memory only goes so far. And I don't normally go to houses and measure them. I'll just take a bunch of pictures and just kind of build them off of photos, because it's the way it works. And I don't use wooden cigar boxes anymore. I just use modern day materials like balsa wood, bass wood, things like that. But in any case, the journey that I'm going to take you on over the course of the next 6 months is little snippets of me building this house. And I was fortunate enough that my mom went down to her sister's house, which was my grandmother's house, back in the wintertime, and was able to raid some of their old photo albums, and was able to scan in some of the missing pieces of the house. Now, this is my grandmother's house right here, and it's a house that back in the day was a house, and it got added onto and then added onto and kind of built. So it's kind of like a hodgepodge of pieces, but everybody has a connection with their grandmother's house in some capacity or another. And this house here, you know, there are memories attached to it. Memories of me as a kid spending a week there and going down to the local McDonald's back when Muppets Take Manhattan were in theaters, and I can get the glass cups. And, you know, back when my grandmom took me to see The Cat from Outer Space in Golden Ring Mall. So, you know, everybody has hopefully good attachments to their grandmother's house. Well, I now have the ability, because I have all the walk-arounds of this house that were given to me last week at the graduation party. So it makes me really happy, because I literally started building this house 4 years ago. And whoops, I'm outside because it's just better lighting. Here's another angle of it. And I have about a dozen pictures here. So I have all these different angles of it, and I started building the house what I could probably 3 or 4 years ago, and I just probably longer than that actually, and I could never finish it. So what you're going to see over the course of the next 6 months, and I'm not going to bore you with all the little how-to building stuff, because it's just quite honestly me just cutting a bunch of wood and making it look like a little scale house. Let me put these back in here so they don't blow away. But what you're going to see is a little bit of magic, at least my kind of magic, when it comes to actually creating something out of photographs. And then around Thanksgiving time, the Christmas garden goes up, and at which point in time, you know, we usually, you know, reveal the latest and greatest addition to the family of houses that are on there. There's probably a dozen houses on there at this point, from just different generations, different time eras. Last year I made a train station, but it's a magic time, and it's a magic moment, and it takes a long time. It takes a very long time to build one of these houses. This isn't something where you just take an afternoon and put this house together, or any of the creations. I mean, it is something that I know when I built my brother Michael's house, I probably spent the most time on that house. I probably took about guesstimating about 160 hours of building my brother Michael's house. And that's 160 hours of sitting there with just wood and super glue and a couple straight edges and a couple razor blades and paint and everything else, creating just something to put on a Christmas garden so that way future generations could actually appreciate it. So I'm not gonna go into any much more detail on it at this moment, because you'll see the process down the road, and as our vlogs evolve down into the holidays, you'll get to see firsthand exactly what we're talking about. Lionel trains have always been a big part of my life. It's always been a fairly big part of my family's life in general. So if anyone has any Lionel trains laying around, please send them my way. They will definitely find a home for the next generations to come. But it's let me get this towel here. But it's definitely a little piece of magic, and you know, along the way you're gonna see some of it. So there you go.